Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl, Cherrell. I'm the host of Let's Talk the Show, and this ain't a podcast. Thank you guys for joining me this Tuesday. Like you guys do every Tuesday, we have a great show in store. Make sure you click that link in my bio and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can reach 100 subscribers before the year is out. Okay, I want to apologize for being late here, you guys. I'm not sure what's going on with my Instagram. Just like it's not letting me post certain things. I'm thinking I'm posting things and they're not posting. It's not letting me, do that, click that live. The button doesn't work, right? But I'm here now. I'm sorry for being late, fam. Y'all know I love y'all. Like I said, we have a great show in store. I got my drink ready, right? I'm super excited. But before we go any further, you guys know that we have to kick the show off the right way. So before we get started, you got to give me something that you're grateful for. This is really about speaking about what you're grateful for. Sometimes we get so caught up in the things that we don't have and the things that we want that we forget about all the things that we do have. So I'm gonna kick it off. Make sure you guys drop something in my comment section that you're grateful for. And I'm gonna go ahead and say I am grateful for increase in patience. A real increase in patience. My son, it seems like God wires kids to test you right before you gotta do something. And I mean, I'm hitting wire. I'm trying. I'm like, come on, I'm trying to do other stuff. And he just don't want to act right. And I really wanted to be like, just sit down and yell. But I didn't yell. I just said, you know what, babe? Mommy needs you to work with her. I got to go to work. He ain't give a fuck. He didn't cooperate either. But, that's okay because he ain't screaming now. He ain't throwing nothing. I don't think he's throwing nothing. And he ain't cry. So I'm grateful. Patience, okay? Let's see here. I'm grateful for an awesome working team. Thank you, Megan. Hey, you cannot be mad at that. Awesome working team. You can't be mad at that. And so like I said, you guys, we have a great show in store. I will be joined today. I'm so excited. I feel like I haven't had a guest in a while. So I'll be joined tonight by Jaslyn. And she is the creator of Detroit Brunch Bliss Brunch. I think I'm saying it wrong, you guys. Give me a second here. I want to make sure I do not say this wrong. That is the worst thing you can do. Okay, I'm going to get Jaslyn on her so that she can tell you the right way because I'm saying it wrong. I did take a couple drinks before I got on crazy. So I ain't yell, but I did take a sip. So I hope you guys also brought your drinks. I told you guys drinks and a drink. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've got my drink too.
That's
so
what
grateful for this. We need a big tall one today.
I like to see it. Okay, Jaslyn, I'm so excited to have you today. I'm super excited. Right?
Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Okay, so the ritual is when you get on the show, before we get started, you got to give us something that you're grateful for.
Oh, I am so grateful for my family because they are continuously an encouragement. And honestly, they're the people who I brunch with. So I enjoy that.
I love it. So, Jaslyn, I'm not sure if you've seen any of my previous episodes, so I don't have any questions pre-planned. This is all a natural conversation.
Oh,
very flowing, okay? So we're going to talk about brunch, and we're going to hope it stay there. It might branch off. I'm talking branch off. It might branch off and go other places, right? That was so corny. Okay.
It sounds great.
So let's jump right into it since I feel like this is the most obvious thing. What do you have in your cup right now? Tell me, what drink you have and juice.
Of course. Well, first of all, this is one of my favorite glasses. This is a home glass I usually use for either my mimosas, especially a toast on New Year's Eve. So I love good stemware. But today I actually have a fall-inspired cocktail. Well, I guess mimosa, you say a cider mimosa. So a cider mimosa, if you will. So it's apple cider and Prosecco. So yeah, mostly Prosecco.
See, that's what I had to drink a little bit. My kid was acting a little crazy, so I took a couple extra shots of that before I poured it in the glass. So I know what you mean there. Okay, so I'll go next since I asked. I have mostly Prosecco in here. I have a little strawberry to garnish it there.
Ooh, love that.
Right? This is so cute. Try to make it real official. And then some orange juice in there, right? Okay, so
yeah.
I seen that you spent some time in DC and then you moved back here and that your parents encouraged you really to start blogging. about brunch. Did your brunch like adventure start there, or was it started here and then you just moved out to DC?
My brunch adventures really started as a child because I would go, because this is what I love about brunch is that it is free flowing. Of course, as an adult, we really think about bottomless brunches. We think about getting out everyone together and like having a good time, which I love those too. But as a kid, I would always go to church with my family, and sometimes family members. Since I'm from Detroit, we would be all over the Metro Detroit area, and we would all congregate at one brunch location. For the longest time, it was Leon's, and it's similar to kind of like a Coney Island for those who are from the area. But at the same time, like you get to like just enjoy and relax. So it really started there with my mom and my grandparents and my aunt and like my whole entire family. But when I moved out to, I actually moved out to Baltimore. So all the DMV area. So shout out to DMV because they always have a big place in my heart. And I found out about bottomless brunches out there and just like how it was like a whole turn up scene. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, usually I'm used to like love my gospel tunes, but also like there's a DJ here in the corner. What is really going on? Like everybody's really stepping out in their finest. So I love that so much of traveling to different spots around DC, different places in Baltimore, and just seeing what people brought to the table for their brunch, cocktails, drink, like food, all that. And when I moved back to Detroit, I realized that everybody was really wanting to find out where the brunches were. They were like, oh, I've been here, I've been to Atlanta, I've been in New York, where is the brunch for us? And so I really encourage people to think of brunch in a multitude of ways. Of course, you can go out and you can go to a great brunch or a brunch event or, networking event. But also, how do you brunch at home? Especially after the pandemic, is how do you have a new brunch? Do you brunch with a small group of people? What does the table look like? There's a multitude of ways. So, I'm excited we're talking about it today because I could talk about it for hours. So it's like,
I'm so, I think you really mentioned, you kind of hinted at it a little bit, just about the evolving brunch scene here in Detroit. I know that brunches kind of became a new thing for myself. Like, I don't know if it's just because I've gotten a little older. So now it's like me and my friends, we don't really want to go to the club that much. We kind of want to do the day party thing. And, we really want to go brunch. Like, I really want to talk about, before we get really deep, how brunch and Black women, that luxury experience is portrayed through social media. You get the beautiful Black women, you get them all dressed up at the brunch scene. And like, let's talk about that. What do you think about that? Or how do you think that's kind of really came about? Because I've seen it just emerge over like the last few years or so.
Right. I would say that too. I think, I've been back for about 4 years, and right when I came over, like people really wanted to see it more. And I think what's great is that, as a Detroiter, you have this grit. Like if you don't see it happening, you're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about social media, like connecting people, is that it really is a community experience. Whether it's a chef who wants to, showcase at a new restaurant that just happened last week. One of my favorite chefs, Chef Dom, who was at the Ivy. Unfortunately, I was out of town, but it was cool to see that that's something new that's happening. And it's just like everyone, pops up at these locations. And two, there's places similar to like the Block that, first that came out to my head. I absolutely love the Block. It's Black owned. It's easy to get to. Honestly, like soon there will be more content on the page about just my breakdown of what it takes to get there. Like I get kind of choosy. Depending on the day, I might not want to do street parking. And that kind of deciphers where I go. Sometimes if I want to get a big group of people together, we might all, I say, let's get this event together. And we're all excited to do that because, this day and age, we got to look forward to something fun for the weekend, You talked about luxury, and I think that it's so unique that, in my opinion, goes hand in hand with self-care. And self-care and community is really what I'm about. I am a budding friendship coach, and creating that community is why I loved, creating more of Brunch Bliss Detroit and hearing people's brunch stories, being a part of brunch stories. And it is really amazing to see, especially Black women come and just really enjoy themselves.
Yes.
Have like a really unique kind of, let your hair down, relax. I feel like,
Yeah.
as a busy mom, as a caregiver, someone who's like involved with so many different, things in the community, you have to really just like, pour a glass, relax, put on a cute, for me, I love a good jumpsuit. Those who love a good jumpsuit, throw that on. Because it doesn't have to, it can be effortless, and
Yeah,
sometimes
definitely.
you do have those brunches where, you put a baseball cap on and you put some sweats on and you just need some
Yes.
French toast and you need a
Yes.
bottomless. And then other times you're like, you know what, I'm gonna step out in my best. I
Period.
might throw some heels on. Hey, I might
Yes.
put some kicks on and just dress that up. So I love seeing the evolution of what we get to make it. We get to make it our own. So I think
Definitely.
that's really cool.
Yes. Oh, you just hit on everything. I just love it. I just love,
uh,
first off, like my guests are always amazing, but you just hit on everything. Like, what am I supposed to ask her, y'all?
I mean, honestly, I always ask, how do you see it? Because for me, like, I just see it with completely glowing eyes, where I see
Yeah.
like there is no bottom to brunch.
Period.
Like you can do all the things you want. I mean, I love to do birthday brunches.
I
It's
did one
like,
this year for the first time.
really, how did that go?
It was fun. It was really fun. We actually did it. Did we do it at the block? If I'm not mistaken, we went to the block. Right? I love that place. That was
That's
like
what's
the
up.
first place I think I ever tried in like downtown Detroit. And I think I did. I think I went for brunch too, and they had amazing shrimp and grits. And I was like, I gotta go back. Just you always want to support the people that look like you, and it was amazing. Service is always great. Drinks are always great. Food is always amazing. Great, just a great overall great experience.
And the
And it really,
ambiance, it's always like,
yes. Oh, okay, it can't be beat. The music, and I really love it because I don't know, it's really something about the aesthetic of Black women looking good at brunch, and it's like you often want to just duplicate it with your own friends. You want to create your own aesthetic of just Black, beautiful, successful Black women at brunch. You just want to duplicate it, and I really see that that's emerging now. Like the idea, and like you
hmm
said, it is a level of self care just to relax. You can't go baseball cap, or I can go. Me and my friends call it reality TV because they always in heels no matter where they go. They
that is
don't care.
so true.
They are
I
in heels
know.
no matter where they go.
I saw someone have a brunch and the theme was Real Housewives chic. And I said, you know what,
Yeah,
that hit the nail on the head. I see that too.
yeah,
But yeah, and I love the fact that we're coming together. I think
yeah.
that we have such a beautiful culture.
Yes. Mm,
It is
we
much,
really do.
but like we
Often imitated, never duplicated. If it was a culture, some people, it's us.
right,
Definitely
exactly.
us.
And
Um.
it's no, go ahead, please.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say about the ambiance, it's about the music too. I
It
love to
is.
see like who comes and it's so unique too. I mean, I'm gonna always like shout out Detroit. That's my home city. Like so I feel like every brunch I go to, there's always like, someone gets up and does a dance. Like everyone's doing a hustle. You know what I'm
All the
saying? And then sometimes that's where I learned my best hustles. I look at people, I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't learn that. I was like, someone teach me so I can know what I'm
yeah.
doing when I'm out here. It's
If
like,
Detroit don't do nothing, they gonna hustle.
exactly. I mean, shoot, we'll hustle, on the street after a Tigers game. We'll do it like
Put the
anywhere. And
right
it just
songs
is,
on.
and it's a vibe. And so I love that happens at pretty much every brunch I go to. And you can just tell in people's faces, they're so excited. They're smiling because
Yeah.
they feel good, look good. Like you're with your people. So
I
that's like
know.
one of my favorite things.
You know what? I agree. I love the sense of community. And the more I'm sitting here talking to you, the more I'm realizing that it's us that creates that experience. Like brunches is his own thing. But that feeling that I get is created because of my people influencing the environment. That's really what that is. And it's like you can't beat that. And that is a really great sense of community. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I read when you were talking about that, and I was trying to put together, and I'm thinking sense of community. I'm thinking of the artists in a sense, the chefs and the business
hmm
owners and those things. And I'm like, well, wait a second. It is our sense of community. And I'm thinking about how iconic Black women or iconic Black shows, girlfriends, they often did brunch.
hmm
often did brunch. And it's like, oh my God, bunch of successful Black women going out to brunch. You know, and it's like, okay, I'm seeing this community. I'm seeing where it's coming. And I'm seeing how we're influencing it, making it our own thing, and why it's growing and why it's so important. I want to talk to you about specifically just the Detroit brunch thing. We got the block. I know there's a place called Ivy. I'm probably so wrong. It's called Ivy Park, I think, or something on Jefferson. Why do you think? Because I feel like maybe I just didn't see it, but why do you think we're trying to hone in on that now? Why is it so important to Detroit culture? Because I don't remember brunch as a kid growing up. I just remember it coming, within the last couple of years. But why to Detroit now? Why do we feel the need to jump on that wave?
Honestly, I feel like it is way long overdue. I feel
Ooh.
like there's so many like metropolitan cities that have been, doing brunches. As I said, like historically, some of the most popular places are New York, Chicago. Now it's popular to be Atlanta. Like when you look at, it's so
Oh, yeah.
interesting when you talk about community, that one of my biggest passions is understanding people and like not only the anthropology but the sociology of it. And a great brunch book, which I don't know the name of, but I will share with you, is that it shares like how each community in each state and city is so new, like so different with their food and like what is
Yeah.
that they do. And so all these little pockets have come up, and it really, I like you said, noted, it comes from like a lot of a luxury Black community, a culture. I think it does in some ways come hand in hand with some HBCUs, not always, but just like where people, kind of settle, like whether it's as Harlem, or you do see people in Atlanta, you see people in Chicago. And so Detroit, we've been here,
Right.
always here. And I think that right now there is this resurgence of people kind of coming home. And so we're taking some of these pieces and saying, why not do this in my backyard? And I think
Right.
is, to your point, is I think in some ways, while we have an incredible culture, now I think with, a lot of, millennials, I mean, I, as a millennial in that group, I would say, like, I want to throw shade at Gen Z, but it's not, it's, they are part of it too. But, as a millennial, I see a lot of us coming through it, right? Like we
Yeah,
have parents who
definitely.
might be, Gen Y or like around baby boomers. But for us, we're taking each piece of that and we're saying, okay, let's create and, create like this culture of what I call like the generational wealth culture, where it does
Yeah.
showcase luxury, it showcases new ways of thinking. And so I
Yeah.
think that
That's
there's
us.
so much more of that conversation happening in Detroit, and more people who are working together. And so, there are some that are popping up. And I think too, like, over by me, I'm in the area over by where Cuzzo's is, and like Good Times. And
Oh,
those are always packed. I got hour and a half waits.
man.
And it's nice, like you said, you went to the block for your birthday that's downtown. It's nice to see them also in, in the neighborhoods, and seeing
Yeah.
like where these neighborhoods are. So we're definitely going to be seeing more of it. I'm definitely going to be showcasing more of it. And I'm really excited, hopefully, to partner and, have my brunch too to host, to really show where
Yeah.
that brunch bliss culture is. Because you talked about earlier, it's really a feeling, and you like
Yeah.
touched your chest, and you said it's a feeling because you felt it in your heart. And that's
Yes.
where Brunch Bliss Detroit comes from, is that for
Mm.
me, when you go to brunch and you are in your best clothes, you were with all your people, it could be friends, family, there's always a moment for me, because I'm just so sentimental, where I have just like my glass in hand, I sit back, and it's just like, it's pure bliss. And so that is, what I want to continue to create, as we talk, like we obviously have a similar experiences. So I think that as we continue to grow, and as things continue to open up, we're going to see more and more and more events happening in the city. And I'm so excited for it.
Me too. First off, let
Hmm.
me say, I am so happy to hear you say that you sit back and you just, it's not like an out of body experience, but it's almost like you just sit back and you take it on in, like, damn, I'm really here. Like, I'm really enjoying this. I
Exactly.
love that, because I find, not even just at brunch, but any moment that makes me feel super elated, super joyful. Like I feel it in my bones. I do that. I just sit back and I be like, damn, like this is dope. Like I'm grateful
Right.
to be here right now. Like that really be my energy.
Exactly.
I love it. And you know what? I love that. We do have these pockets going up, and I love that you said that having them in their neighborhood. Hear me out. I go through the suburbs, you see all these little great spots, these little neighborhood spots in there, and these places have just intertwine themselves into the culture of the neighborhood. And it's like when you go to these neighborhoods that you're not familiar with, we call them little hole in the walls or whatever, little, you know, little places. And it's like, I really want to see more of that culture, more of that sense of community with us, that we see each other more often and we create those little pockets of culture and community. And is a sense of well-being, just a sense of self in our own communities outside of God knows. I think you even said this when you were talking in your article that there's a church and a gas station on every corner in the neighborhood. It is. There's like not a lot. Like we joke, but it's like very true. You can find them everywhere. And it's like I really want to see more of, you know, a better sense of self outside of church and gas stations and shit. Like I want to see those in our little restaurant. So I really like that. And okay, so stay right, because I will turn these letters around, and it's nothing personal. It really is just when two letters go together. I make some brunch Detroit. Brunch Bliss.
Is Brunch Bliss Detroit.
Brunch Bliss, there you go. See?
Yeah. But both, I mean, that was that. I mean, it's the same thing, you know, let's just say. But yeah, Brunch Bliss Detroit. Okay. It's, you know, first the brunch, then the bliss, and of course you're in Detroit. And beyond too, because I go other places, but at the same time I'm always gonna have, you know, that Detroit on me, because I'm gonna be Detroit no matter where I go.
Detroit till I die, baby. Okay, so I know that this evolved out of your love for brunch and, you know, how it's been ingrained in your upbringing. But outside of that, why did you think that the world needed Brunch Bliss? I do it right?
Oh yeah, yes, Brunch Bliss. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I do say, and you know, when I also, you know, write content, it's like, you know, to my blissers, you know, keep that bliss wherever you go, because it really is just like ingrained in you. You know, talk about, you know, Black women and women who, you know, you just share so much light with. You know, I call so many of my friends and family queen, goddess, all these just really kind of effervescent names, because it's like, you know, that's just how you want to address them. Like, and then people's faces always get so, you know, elated. And so for me, I actually started with my mom, who has since passed, unfortunately, 2 years ago, which was extremely challenging. And there, I will share more about that reflection. Most recently, it's been about 2 years. But she was really the person who I brunched with a lot. We would have Wednesday brunches together because I had an easy schedule at the time with work. And she threw down in the kitchen. You know, I mean, everything. My mom made Verner's waffles. I mean, she put Verner's in the batter, because you know, I'm a true Michigander. None of this Seagrams, none of this Canada Dry. Even all my Canadian friends, Verner's waffles, French toast. I mean, homemade from scratch pancakes. You know, even for my, you know, quick, you know, side note, and getting back to this, like, even my family, you know, my Detroit family here, we had a family cruise, and we would do meetings. We do family meetings. My friends thought this was crazy. They're like, your family's real serious. I was like, yes, we take notes. I was like, well, you have to come prepared. But we would always have brunch, and we would have waffles and just, you know, frittata, everything. That being said, is that feeling that and growing up with that, especially seeing how there was that community and how my mom brought such a community of people together. It was so enlightening. So, you know, even, you know, jump to college, even though I wasn't like balling out at brunches or having bottomless, we were together in, you know, the dining hall and just like collecting everyone. Like, that's something I would do on Saturdays, like knocking on everybody's door down my dorm floor, like, hello, it's 10 o'clock. Get yourself up. We're about to go eat. Like, you don't have to put makeup on, but you better come together. And so, like I said, from a kid going after, after church on Sundays, I didn't require everybody to go to church. Like a lot of my family might do that, but, we didn't require that. But, getting that together, I wanted to share more of what that looked like for me because it's such a passion of mine. And really, to be honest, in that grieving process, I talk about this sometimes too within content, is like, it was really hard to sometimes go to brunches, but more importantly, it was a way in which people could connect to me. There would be times where, I wouldn't really want to go out or want to go hang out, but someone would say, well, I have this brunch spot. We can go to brunch on Tuesday. You want to go to brunch? And I shared today is, brunch really is a love language.
Woo!
It is. It's,
Yes,
it's
it
a love
is.
language.
Yes, it is.
Because I think too, when you have that community, like if you have someone who says, hey, come to brunch with me, or hey, we're going here, that person really wants you to be there and you're being
Right?
present with
Yeah.
them. And so, it really comes into the fact of what that bliss looks like. And I wanted to share more of it and really dissect how we think about it when we show up to brunches and how we have them. And so I wanted to give a space to share more of that and just the mindset of it, because it's cool, to just show up at brunch like, oh, I'm going to brunch. Like everyone's like, oh, I'm a bruncher, I brunch. Just like, you want to talk about brunch? You sit and talk with me, and people are like, oh wow, I never thought about it that way. I'm like, yes, I sit around and think about this because it's really important to think about how we're intentionally coming together, and
Ooh.
brunches is the perfect way to do it. And that's why I
Mm.
love sharing more of it. So
Mm.
yeah, it came from that.
You hit them all. You hit them all. First things first. Let's say this. I love that. Brunch. If I invite you to brunch, I definitely want you to be there. I don't know why. Maybe you could miss a dinner. You might be able to miss a breakfast. But if I invite you to brunch on your show, I might be a little offended.
I take it offensively. Like, what? Okay, well, we're definitely rescheduling because you're not about to ghost me.
Right? Because what is this? What are you doing? You're absolutely right. Second of all, I think the first time I went out, with a guy that I'm dating. We've been dating for a while. He invited me to brunch, and it was like come have brunch with me on Thursday. And I don't know what it was about that message. That's literally all it said. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be there. I don't know who
that was like,
it's
like that real like
at this brunch. I'm gonna be at this brunch with this man on Thursday. I never.
I get that. As soon as you said that, I thought about that reel, and they're like, oh,
yeah,
like, you're healed. Oh, you want me to go to brunch? Oh. You picked up the check? Oh, this is all taken care of? Oh, what? Okay, thank you.
I don't know what about that man saying brunch on Thursday hit my soul, but I said somebody gonna watch this kid. I don't know who gonna watch him, but I ain't gonna be with him on Thursday.
I'm not missing
this man. Okay, you are absolutely correct. There is something very intimate, I don't even, something just really in that moment, that event that you spend with friends or family or whoever, even strangers, that's right. Super important. And it does, I hate to say it, it just hit like nothing else. Nothing else feels like that. Dinner don't feel that. Dinner's always intimate, always gives me an underlying romantic tone. Breakfast is super, unintimate, unconnected.
It's very fast, very quick.
Yeah. But brunch does hit very intimately, very community-like. It's nothing, no underlying romantic connection there or anything like that. No underlying romantic tone, but it is very community feeling oriented. It just does give that energy, and I love that. I really, really love it. And I did want to say that I'm sorry about hearing about your mother, but I love the idea that brunch is a great way to connect with you. I love it. A lot of people specialize in art, and I'm not even gonna say that brunch isn't an art, but art, painting, drawing, clothing. But the idea that you specialize and connect deeply with an event that anybody can do. Everybody can draw, but I think that's fire. I think that's fire. And I'm super happy that you created this. So we get how that started. I really want to talk about how else does this sense of community affect how you deal with other people? I know that you said in college you were knocking on doors, like, let's go. How has that affected how you how you create friends, how you do business?
Yeah, I really enjoy going to numerous brunches. I feel like that is why I want to share a multitude of ways where like I say Brunch Bliss Detroit, but also, as you know, it's travel. You know, I went
Yeah.
to college in Cleveland. I lived in Baltimore, so like in the DMV area for about a year. I have family who are in Raleigh. I have family who's in, you know, in Tampa, and I like Tampa itself has a great brunch. And like think about community places. There are places I'm thinking about right now that I want to eat a specific item there. And like my cousins are in here too, and they're probably like, we know exactly what it is. And if they know, they should post it because they know exactly what I'm thinking about. But it really is one of those things where like I enjoy going to a brunch event where like, yeah, of course, you know, you have panels. I'm a little paneled out, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm a little like, oh, show your business card this, which is great. But I think that one of the things that is really nice is going to a brunch for me where, you know, you just kind of show up with one friend. So the article that I have posted is from my friend Jennifer, and we got connected on Instagram, which is why I love social media. Like when you use social media for good and you're actually really social about it,
And
you
intentional.
get
Yeah.
you get connected with incredible people. And you know, we have since gone to new brunches or share new brunch locations. Yeah, like we actually went to I think it's Babo or Babo. I have to find the actual pronunciation of the name, but that place is so good. I love their chocolate French toast, and Jennifer hadn't been, and so we spent some time at the DIA. We walked around outside, and then we just, you know, scooted over to Babo as we were waiting. And this is someone I didn't know at all, you know, 3 years ago. And then we got connected on social media. You know, she was new to the area. I was still kind of new-ish, but also like, you know, a Detroiter. So it was cool for us to learn that way. And so for me, it's like that's one of the things I share as well is meeting new people and also creating it with people that you've had, you know, in your corner for a long time. And I find that, you know, the walls and barriers to entry as far as like getting to know someone kind of come down when you have you have like brunch time really should be between like, in my opinion, starting at between like 11:30 or 1. Sometimes brunches can start a little bit later, but at the same time, I do like a dinner brunch, like a, you know, like an evening brunch, but it
Yeah.
has to have a specific start time. Like you can't just be having brunch all the time because that way, like people
Yeah.
are just going to show up, so it's not as intentional. But
Right.
I, of course, love to go to brunch maybe between like 12:30 and 1.
Yeah.
And then I think everyone had enough sleep. Everyone feels real prepared. You know, you don't really have people like rushing, like, oh, you know, I just got off work, or oh, I, you know, just got up. And so I think that really is important to me about like how, you know, I get to meet people, how I, you know, like you said, have business meetings. Sometimes it's the best
Yeah.
time to connect with people. And you're just giving me so many content ideas too of what to share more because you know, it really is a good time. Like during the week, I might do like a brunch at 10 and just like, oh, you know, I haven't spoken to this, you know, this connect. Like I want to talk to them and just like have, you know, pancakes at 10. It's like, okay, let's meet at 10. And, you know, for some reason, you know, it's similar to how you were saying earlier, like, you know, breakfast doesn't feel this way, dinner doesn't feel that way. Like dinner feels like kind of inappropriate to have, you know, a
Yeah, it
work
does.
event. And then
Like
like breakfast is
romantic.
just like, are we actually gonna eat? Or are you just gonna sit here and drink coffee and act like you're not starving? Because I'm
Yeah.
definitely starving. But if you say brunch and you're like 10 o'clock or 11, then you know people feel a lot more comfortable to eat. So for me, it's just like it's really a way of connecting. And two, it's like, you know, who doesn't love brunch? So for me, I just really enjoy getting to know a lot of new people too and sharing them how I love Brunch Bliss Detroit. And they're like, wait, what? You talk about brunch or you share brunches or like, where are your best brunches? And I think too, it's like, I don't have all the answers. I think that's first and foremost. I don't have all the places. Do I know quite a few? Yes. Will I tell you honest opinions about certain food on menus? Yes. Um,
Protect
but
you.
that's what is exciting about creating this page is that people have gotten connected with me and they've shared new brunch spots for me to, you know, try, and they've given honest opinions. So it's really cool to see how there is this building community. And that's why I love like when we utilize Instagram for its proper, you know, what it really should be used about. You know, if you actually are sharing a very, you know, a well thought out, DMs, and people will respond back, and you'll be surprised. You might meet a significant other or your new best friend or reconnect with family members. I've done that in a lot of ways as I've gotten older, and we just, get together for brunches. So
Yeah.
that's one of my favorites. But yeah, that's kind of how I think about it these days of like, that brunch experience is, it's multifaceted. So at different times.
I love that. I know I keep saying this, y'all, but y'all ain't gotta worry about me lying. I ain't gonna lie. If I don't like something, I just ain't gonna say nothing. Okay, you not gotta worry about me. I'm not no lying person.
We feel that energy. I feel the energy.
Right, but I genuinely love that. I do. Okay, so let's do this. I know you said that. I know you talked just a lot of community, and I love that you said it's a great way to reconnect or to establish relationships. I think that's why it's like brunch. It just makes it easy. Like you can talk so many things about food. I think that when you're meeting new people, you always got to find a good way to get in. You got to figure out how to get in and break the ice because it's weird. To me, I think social media is the easiest way for me to network. But if I got to walk up to you and random shit, I ain't gonna say nothing to nobody unless we almost bumping each other, unless we compliment each other. I'm not gonna say nothing because it is weird. But if we got to be out to eat together, I don't know if I said that right. If we got to be out to eat together, we're going to have a lot to talk about. We're talk about this pop. We're going to talk about this food, how you like your eggs. It's so easy to connect with someone when you're eating. There's so many different topics you can talk about. You talk about whatever, And I think that, like you said, I gave you some content ideas. Now you got me ready to go meet up with somebody like, we can do brunch together.
Yes. We can do brunch together.
Right. What? Okay, we do. We really do. Okay. And now I'm over here like, well, you know what? I always want to hang out with my cousins. Our schedules just don't work. Now I'm like, I can bring the kid. We can all go to brunch.
Yeah. That's the number one thing I do because I have a lot of cousins who are out of state. And we have like group chats that we just started. Some on Instagram, some like, in chat. And I'm just like, oh, here's this brunch spot. Here's this brunch spot. And they back on here want to move back. I'm like, okay, we'll come back. But like, when your time is right. But when they come to visit, we try to at least get to one or two brunch spots. And it's beautiful and unfortunate that we can't get to all of them because it's only certain times. But, we're doing our best. And like you said, it's like, too, when I go to brunches, like sometimes food looks so good on someone else's plate. I have no qualms about asking, what did you get? Or what is that? Is it good? And people ask the same thing to me. It's like, they're like, is it really good? Like, because the thing is what I think is cool about the next part of the brunch is, when you think about menu and intentionality of menu, and then you think about what sausages you use. What sausage are you using? What kind of bacon are you using? It really, someone might, be tuning in about brunch and like, oh, I just show up. It's like, for me, it's like, it is that art, and it's like, I like, Dearborn cut like ham more than I like just deli ham. You know what I'm saying? There's a specificity of it.
It is very much so. And now that you said that, what I've learned is that brunch has taught me a lot about, I know this is so random, but I'm a very analytical person. Sauces. Brunch is a very saucy event. I don't know what else to call it. It has a lot of different sauces on sandwiches, on eggs, and it has made me very particular about taste. That I usually just stick to the regular Caesar, ranch, Italian, maybe a little vinaigrette if I'm feeling spicy or whatever. But now I have become very particular about sauces that I like because a lot of times at brunch they have, it's a little, I don't know, some fancy sauce.
Like a hollandaise sauce.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that?
Right. It is very much an art and there's a lot of specificity there. Sauce. I'll be picky. I don't put that on the side because I don't know what that is. But it's definitely opened my palate to trying new things because, it's just a sauce, but I may want that sauce to go home, so I might be trying to get it.
Or you might want that sauce to be in something new or different, I love, because of brunch, I love to put honey on so many different things. Like today I did an English muffin sandwich. So I had a scrambled egg and then I put a little provolone cheese. I did a Bob Evans sausage patty, and then I obviously melted the cheese on top, but I put a little hot sauce. And on the other side, I drizzle some honey. Yeah. And I drizzle some honey. So it's just a nice, a nice brunch sandwich that was pretty easy. Sometimes I'll, have it during the week. So, if you have to keep yourself going until you get to, your Saturday or Sunday brunch. So those are the
Right?
ways I do it. But yeah, I
I
put honey
love
on
that.
everything.
I never thought, it's so funny you say that. I've been seeing people eat honey, like, I guess they honeycombs. People be eating like fresh
Yeah.
honey. I don't know why I've been seeing that on my timeline, but they going crazy with the honey and stuff. And the second thing, and this is also not even connected. This is so weird though, because today I had the random idea. Maybe I never eat those muffins, those English muffins. I never eat those.
Yeah.
But I had the taste, like, maybe I should make one and put an egg and then figure out what I want. Today, random as hell, like dog shit. Right? I don't even
Yeah.
eat that shit, right?
Yeah.
But I thought about that today, like maybe I should grab some. I even thought about trying to mimic some avocado toast. That's
Mm,
literally how much I'm like, I've been plotting on trying a new brunch spot. I seen a
right.
couple, and so now ideas are like coming in my head. I love that. I love
Yeah.
it. Somebody said holiday sauce,
I know, I'm
aka
cracking up.
no seasoning bullshit. Don't be
I'm not
everybody
gonna
that's
lie. I'm not a huge fan of hollandaise sauce. I just can't get with it, I tried it, but that's the great thing about, brunch is like you try it and you either come back to it or you don't. So that's what it is. But yeah, I'm drinking a mimosa, a cider mimosa with some apple cider and prosecco.
and I just got prosecco and some Tropicana orange juice. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we are drinking. I'm glad you
So
guys.
yeah,
Any
thanks.
questions you guys have for Jaslyn, feel free to drop them in there. Any questions you have about our brunch spots, definitely drop them in there. I know you guys are just sitting here watching, but you don't think you just have to sit there and watch. You can always chime in, drop whatever you feel. Um, so I definitely want to talk about. I know that you've seen when you're creating any type of whatever, you always look at what else is happening around Detroit that is similar or in your industry. And what do you think that differentiates Brunch Bliss from like the other brunch? I don't know if the baddies link up is a brunch thing as well. I think that may be a brunch. And I've seen like a couple other brunch things, but what do you think is like different about yours? And that's what sets you apart from them.
What is for me is the focus on really building that community, that face to face. I think there are a couple other, brunches that are more network based, which is great. And
Yeah.
by that, when one would say, those kind of sound the same, but for me, it's really more so about just, heart to heart connecting, not
Yeah.
just, those who are in, the beauty industry or just those who have boutiques or only entrepreneurs. I want to be able to have entrepreneurs talk to those who are doctors, who are medical doctors, those who are psychologists. Like we all love to brunch. I think right now there are some times where it just seems like only entrepreneurs are brunching, and that's not
Yeah.
necessarily the case. And so that's one of the things I'm really going to be bringing back more into, in the next few months, but also in 2022, which is around the corner, of really kind of creating more of those spaces where we can connect multi-industry. And like you said, like when I focus on the bliss of brunch, it's really a feeling. It's not just about, you know, what tactical or like, yeah, I'm an analytical person, but it's just like the relaxation of it. And so that's what is really different, like what differentiates, which is different than for me, is I want to bring that back. Not because I think brunches are great when you, like I said, when you have a networking or a purpose, or, you have brunches and you vision board, which is great. It also can be messy if you don't plan it right. Like,
Very
create,
much.
different spaces to do it. And again, I will also never knock anyone else's brunch. I love the idea of collaboration. I think
Yeah.
what's great is that I
Definitely.
see so much collaboration between the ideas. And so I'm looking forward to doing more of those. But, for Brunch Bliss Detroit, it's really about, trying new locations and seeing what food not only just looks good, but tastes good and who you come with. So that's really
I
what
love,
we'll be breaking more down.
I love that. When you said that, what differentiates you from them, the only thing that popped in my head was authenticity. That was the
Mhm.
one thing, something that's genuine, deep down genuine. And I feel like just for my, just not even just brunch or just a lot of those, it's like always networking. It's always like very transactional, kind of
Mhm.
cold in a sense. And it's like, but you want yours to be, this is past business. This is just humans connecting, enjoying a good time, talking about our taste in food, and whatever grows from that grows from that. But it's deeper than just business about what you can get from me and what I can get from you. So I
Mhm.
really love that because that's literally what popped in my head when you were talking. like authenticity. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I love
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
It say, hey, have you did a virtual before? I did that one time and it was different and fun. Or a virtual brunch. Have you ever did that before?
I have done virtual brunches with friends. I haven't been to a hosted virtual brunch, and I haven't hosted one yet. One thing that I wanted to do more was be able to connect with maybe those who are chefs or at home chefs, and do like try one recipe. And I tried that with some friends, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, yeah, exactly. No, I haven't hosted one, but you're giving me an idea. I haven't hosted one yet, but I would love to,
Well,
host a virtual brunch. I do have a friend, Lauren, who we got connected with, and she is like Elle the Foodie online, and she's done some virtual brunches and in-person brunches, and is an incredible chef. So I'll share more of her page as well. And I think that would be kind of fun to host one. So you might see something coming to your inbox soon about virtual brunch.
what? Yo, I ain't never heard of I'm sure everything could be virtual after this pandemic. It ain't that
Right.
you can't put on no computer to tell me. But I never thought about a virtual brunch.
It's
I don't know.
nice too, because like you can have people in different cities doing it,
That
And
sounds
it's
dope.
nice that, that was a great way to connect with others. And I think
Yeah.
as we move forward, we see that, like we're, continuously saying, is that community, that connection and that feeling doesn't always have to be in person. We love it to be in person, but sometimes it is virtual. But we come
Yeah.
up with questions and ideas. I love it.
Right? I'm here. I'm about to hit him up.
Virtual brunch today. Let's go.
I love that. I love it. I never thought of that, but I don't know why I didn't. I'm sure you could do it.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Okay, so then I want to ask. I definitely want to hear some brunch stories because I feel like it's important to share your experiences. So tell me, like, have you? I know. Also, I want to make sure I say her name. Did you say her name, Jasmine, the woman that did the interview that's posted?
Jennifer. Jennifer,
Jennifer.
yeah.
I can't remember nobody's
Yeah,
name.
no,
But
it's okay. I mean,
nothing
Jay, there's
today,
so many J's.
right?
Jasmine,
Yeah,
all
what
these,
is
yeah.
wrong? Y'all
Yeah.
got all these
No.
why do y'all have all these J's in there? So you use brunch to meet new friends outside of
Mhm.
have you met anyone like or used brunch to meet anyone or establish relationships outside of Jennifer?
Yes, I have had a couple. For me, like sometimes I've gone to, a networked brunch where it was a New Year's brunch.
Ooh,
Um, a a friend of mine that I met at okay, so there's two brunches. And I met someone who was hosting a leadership brunch like a few months after that.
okay.
And Adrian, I think I'll do one blog too of who I was talking about, and like maybe we can collaborate on that too. But Adrian was hosting a brunch, and it was a vision board brunch, and it had an
Ooh,
incredible panel, and it was like a cater event. And we met at a different Forbes 30 under 30 event I think it might have been 2 years ago, because
okay.
this was 2019. And so we connected there. And then, of course, we followed up and went to her brunch. And then we've been to brunches since, almost like by mistake and on purpose.
What?
Before, like, it was like a fundraising brunch that we had gone to for an incredible nonprofit here that works with young women to build confidence and really do all those things outside of school. And so we met there, and so I think it was great because speaking of those times when people get into those hustles and you're starting to dance on the dance floor. You start bumping into
No.
people. Well, you really shouldn't bump. You should go with the flow of the song. But sometimes, you know what? You might have like sipped something. You bump into somebody, and so I was like, oh shoot, like I didn't even know you were here and you're here too. It's like it's
What? Look
nice
at
to
that.
see that it's creating a community. It's like at no point is it like a hierarchy of anything. It's just like, good people coming to good people. And so I
Yeah.
like to do that. I think sometimes I've had friends who I've met before, and I connected with them at either an event prior or online. And my first
Yeah.
reaction, because it's me, is like, let's get together for brunch.
Yeah.
And so that has been a good sense of connection. And to be honest, like I said, you get to see people really, let down their walls and have a good conversation.
I agree. Yeah, that's a good question. What was the
Oh,
dance that you went to without name dropping? That's a great question.
okay.
I didn't want to ask that. I'm not
No, it's
That was in my
okay.
head.
Well, of course, like I won't name drop. At least I'll try not to. But but
We ain't making no
but
promises, guys.
no, I did. No. So yeah, I actually haven't hosted a brunch of my own yet. I'm excited to soon.
Can I
Because
smell
I
it?
have quite a few ideas of like up my sleeve of what to do. Like it will be a whole experience. You know, you'll be like you went to Alice in Wonderland. I love that. That's why I say
I want
like,
to go. I
yeah,
want to go to that.
I know. So so I won't drop the name. I won't drop the name, but I did go to a brunch that I just thought was like really kind of underwhelming. Just like the food kind of, you know, like if you're gonna do grits, do grits. You know what I'm saying? Or
No,
just
don't
don't
mess
do
up
them all.
grits. Yeah, you can't. Don't mess up no grits.
Don't mess up grits. Don't mess up. I'm kind of actually sharing a couple different ones, but for me, like I'm very particular about hash browns. Like I love a good like tater tot too, but like really come through with some home fries. But for me, it was like the ambiance was great at this one particular brunch. It was a lot of fun. Like everyone was having bottomless, and it was good. But I just like wanted more choices. You know, I think I'll pose this question to you and those who are in here is, you know, I have conversations with all generations of my family about what brunch really is. Like,
Ooh.
is it an entree sat table brunch or is it buffet? Some people in my family or in kind of my network say, you know, a brunch is only buffet. Like you have to have multitude of options. I want to have like a whole tasting platter. But then these days we see a lot of brunches where it's like an entree, you know, you just get one.
Yeah.
And so, you know, before I go into the next part, I was gonna say is like,
I'm
what do
over
we
here thinking.
think? Yeah, what would you say?
I think that you need to have you don't need to be a buffet of things, but you need to have like a nice variety. It needs to be a nice variety. You can't have like 5 things. Then I feel like when you do when it's a very small amount of things, it's usually not good. That's just my experience. They're usually not good food. But if I have a nice variety, I think it's gonna be pretty good. But if it's like 5,
Yeah. Oh,
it's not.
someone they said they did a 3-course meal brunch. Oh, that's how I haven't done that yet.
That's a life of
3-course
luxury.
meal,
I
that's
ain't living
nice.
that life yet.
Maybe drop that name. I want to hear
Please
name
drop
drop
that
that.
name. Drop that name for everybody. Because we all want to know about that place. That was dope as hell there. Okay, I hear you saying all that, but I need you to drop the name. You ain't saying no names. Don't be here teasing us like that. She love brunch and I'm saying I want
Yeah,
to go. And you being
yeah.
stingy. Don't come over here being
I know you
stingy.
gotta share. This is a
Right?
communal. This is a communal experience. Like break bread.
Right? We over here sharing.
Oh, years
Oh,
ago. Dang, you can't come up in here saying years ago. But it's okay. It's okay.
golly.
Maybe we'll create one.
Right? See, there you go. There you go.
I'm gonna
See?
write it down.
There you go. You ain't got to worry about it. We're going to redo it and do it better. See? That's how it goes. I love that. First of all, Jaslyn, I want to let you know that I enjoyed you so freaking much. Okay?
Yeah,
I
thank
enjoyed the conversation
you.
so much. All right? And I just want you to know, because I'm ready to, when I get off this show, I'm about to go over here and do that little TikTok. And I'm gonna do it to what we were talking about. I mean, he wants me to brunch.
Oh, right. Especially your experience. I have yet to have someone ask me out to go to brunch.
What?
You know, it's like, oh yeah, like I would love that.
Girl,
Might get married by the 3rd course if we're a 3-course one.
It's so funny. So I just want you to know, I'm gonna put inspired by the conversation. I gotta give us our credit. This is a group effort right here.
Yes.
So make sure I let you know when
Collaborative
I make
effort.
that. I'm gonna tag you in it because I'm definitely gonna make that. I need you to make one too, right?
I'm excited. Yeah, let's do the battle of the collaborations of the.
That was
I love
it. I swear that was so good when you said that. I was like, oh yeah, I love that. Okay. I've enjoyed your conversation so much. I've literally been smiling from ear to ear. And I'm like, let me stop being a creep, Cherrell. Stop smiling. But I've truly enjoyed this conversation. And before we do wrap it up, let's give me 3 favorite brunch spots for the people.
3 favorite brunch spots. Some of my favorite are I love Jagged Fork. That's one of my favorites.
Ooh,
I enjoy a Good Times brunch. And I also love a good, well, I'll say this. I haven't, maybe not just like a place, but I love a good Easter brunch. So we're going to have some good Easter brunches coming up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I ain't never been to an Easter brunch. Man, I
Yeah.
ain't never been to no Easter brunch.
And I definitely will be sharing those in the new year of all the top Easter brunches to come to.
And I'm about to be looking for that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Easter came last year. I know it came every. I didn't see Easter.
I know, it was kind of like a blink of an eye. We're like, wait,
right?
what happened?
Everybody was like, did we celebrate Easter?
Like Jesus, thank you so much. I don't know if we celebrated. We should have. We'll do it again. So maybe we'll have 2 Easter brunches, from the pandemic.
We'll run it back, right?
Yeah.
We'll run that back. Somebody said, he said he'll find an email and send it to us. Somebody said everything is better after a chat with Jazz. Okay, hey, it's Cam. Okay, hey, I just found out.
I owe you a text. I do owe you a text, Cam. I've forgotten. So maybe we'll do brunch soon virtually.
So
an ocean brunch.
What? You not getting away? I don't know if you're gonna give me that far around the water. I don't know.
I mean, I'll do like a deck brunch. I'll do like a rooftop deck, like by the deck by the ocean. But I mean, we're in Lake Town right now. But yeah, we can do a brunch, for a travel brunch. Maybe we'll do that. That'll be fun.
I like that. So, Jaslyn, before you go, you gotta go. We are going the same way you came in. You gotta give us something that you're grateful for.
I am so grateful for Instagram for connecting us, because this has been an incredible conversation that I'm sure will lead to another great brunch.
Okay, because I'm over here plotting, y'all. I'm like, look, I gotta find a first spot. I definitely agree. Definitely, I'm super grateful. Instagram, social media in general, like we said, when you use it intentionally, there is a multitude of opportunities that is available to you that you just don't know. But you gotta use it intentionally. You gotta be consistent about it, and you gotta be authentic. Nobody want no fake ass shit, okay?
No,
don't be fake.
Be real, be honest, have a good time. Yeah.
Be you, okay? Be you, because they gonna either like you or they not, and it's so much easier to sort through people that way.
Absolutely. You said it all.
Right? Okay. Let me see what else I gotta make sure I go. Sometimes closing these shows, you guys, I be forgetting things. My mind be at 10,000 places. Okay, so we get what we're grateful for. I didn't even get the chance to say this. If you guys really love this conversation, make sure you click that arrow in the lower right corner and share this conversation with 3 friends you think will love it. I should have said that somewhere in the middle, but we was laughing and talking and having a good time. I hope you shared it with somebody. And I hope that when this conversation is over, that you go back to my page and that you share it. Make sure you guys also click that link in my bio and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are trying to reach 100 subscribers before the year is out, so I appreciate it. If you can help us get there, we love you guys. We thank you guys so much. Let's Talk fam and everybody that came in support of Jaslyn. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. We couldn't do this without you. Yeah. I don't know what else, but
cheers to us. Cheers to everyone here. Right? No, just cheers.
Cheers.
For
right. And as always, you guys, Jaslyn, thank you so much for being my wonderful guest today. I thoroughly and truly enjoyed you. You guys, my name is Cherrell Carter. I'm the host of Let's Talk the Show, and this ain't a podcast. I will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.